Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 231 of our trip around the United States. This morning, we're getting things started off from Ryan Memorial Park here in the city of Lompoc. And our journey up the Pacific Coast Highway continues. Unlike yesterday, we do have some significant miles to cover today. We have 280 miles along this stretch of coast from here in Lompoc up through San Luis Obispo until we bring our day to an end at Carmel by the Sea. Like yesterday, we have a lot of targets on the target list. And again, I know we're not going to have time for everything that we had listed on there. So I'm going to make some strategic decisions as we go, cross off the ones we don't need and the ones that are going to bring our clock down further than we want it, and continue on through the day. I think us getting started here in the city at a decent hour gives us good odds to get done most of what we want to do today. And whatever we see is going to be a win in my book, because if it's anything like yesterday, it is going to be a beautiful coastal drive all day long with lots of scenic sights, some very nice small towns, and many great geocaches. So let's get out there together and see what the day has in store. Come on, let's go.
Our day begins in the city of Lompoc, the city of arts and flowers. Aichan and I take a short walk together through Ryan Memorial Park, the city's oldest park, with 7 acres donated in 1910 by Mary Ryan. The quote we saw on the bench would stick with us through today's route: the deeper your gratitude, the lighter your day. As for Lompoc being considered a city of the arts, that is no joke. Just in the iconic uptown area alone, there are more than 30 major murals spread across buildings, winding through alleys, and decorating the city streets. I had originally planned just to grab a geocache or two in town before heading on my way to the next area. But once I had passed a few of these murals, I realized that I was going to have to get to see them up close. Aichan and I parked the car and then began walking through the streets one mural at a time. As luck would have it, many of these murals were also the stages to adventure labs, which kept Aichan and I occupied each time we got to a new painting decorating the side of a building. The history of the many stunning murals in this city begins all the way back in 1990. 2 local residents, Jean and Judy Stevens, were inspired by murals they had seen in a Canadian city they had visited on vacation. They pitched the idea to the town, and it was approved. The first mural put in was the Lompoc flower industry, painted on West Ocean Drive. Since then, a new mural has been added to the town's collection each year. Artists submit designs for the potential mural, and then one is selected for completion in one day. That is right, you did not mishear me. Most of the murals that you see here were completed in just one day's time. And what better way to get to express your city's history, or get to learn about the history of a city that you're visiting, than through beautiful murals like this, telling the stories of peoples that have lived in the areas for hundreds and thousands of years. The Chumash Native Americans called these lands home for generations before the Spanish conquest brought the establishment of the original Mission La Purísima in 1787. From the Native Americans to the Spanish to the Mexicans to the Californians, there have been many people that have called and still call these lands home. The Honda Point disaster, memorialized by one of these murals, is a piece of history that I had never heard about before. It was the single largest peacetime loss of U.S. Navy ships in our history. On the evening of September 8, 1923, 7 destroyers, traveling at about 20 knots, ran aground at Honda Point. The grounded ships included the USS Delphi, USS SP Lee, USS Young, which capsized, USS Woodbury, USS Nicholas, and USS Chauncey. 2 of the ships ran aground but were able to free themselves, and only 5 ships avoided the rocks altogether, leaving half of the fleet in ruins and 23 sailors dead in the water. And that is just one of the many pieces of history hinted at in the murals spread all across the city of Lompoc. After a long walk around the downtown area exploring our way through the murals, Aichan was tired and ready for a break, but we still had just one more stop to make at the Freedom Monument Veterans Memorial. Opened on December 7th of 2001, the original memorial consisted of a fountain, 5 large structures with plaques representing each branch of the service, and a dedication plaque. As with its murals, Lompoc has continued to add to the memorial over the years. Since the original opening, plaques have been added to remember veterans who lost their lives during the conflicts in World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. As much as we would have loved to continue exploring Lompoc, it was time to continue on our way down the trails. With a full day's worth of miles ahead, meandering our way up Pacific Coast Highway, we decided, like yesterday, to cut most of the Earth caches out of our schedule and concentrate on the physical geocaches needed to qualify for each of the DeLorme pages along the way. This helped today to become one of the more varied days of caching we have had in California so far. As one might expect, we did encounter quite a few of the standard type of geocache hides today. Bisons dangling into fence poles, film canisters tucked into piles of rocks, medicine bottles hidden deep in the grass, and magnetic key holders in one form or another. These kind of hides are great because they help to kill the miles, get you out of the car for a few minutes, stretch your legs a little bit, and get your mind working. If you're really lucky, you might even encounter some wildlife along the way. There were several lizards out, basking in the warm sunshine and enjoying the cool breeze, hanging out on the fence poles, or trying their best to blend in the rocks. It's easier to notice small lizards like that when you're looking for the fine details in the search for a geocache, because not everything we encountered today was standard fare at all. A great many of the geocaches scattered along this stretch of Pacific Coast Highway are hidden at the place you might expect, but not in the way you might expect. I found myself delving out favorite points in rapid succession as I continued to encounter increasingly clever geocaches. It's kind of funny how intimate you can become with a ground zero while you try to look for a little tiny knothole like that. Or how much it might rock your world to discover a geocache hidden on a main thoroughfare with muggles passing by day and night. But just when I thought I was getting the hang of all the creative hides in this area, the next cache owner threw me for a bit of a loop. Ah, duck me, it's a decoy. This sprinkler head looks a bit suspicious though. Perhaps this is the geocache that I'm looking for. We'll just pop it open and grab that logbook and, nope, I guess we have another ducking decoy. We did eventually find that geocache, but only after Ai-chan decided to help me sniff it out of its hiding place. And not all of the clever geocaches that we found were micros either. Some of them were regular or even large-sized geocaches. Good thing that this ammo can had a camouflage job over the top of it. Otherwise, this bright pink might stand out just a little bit to the passing muggles. While it was great that there was so much swag inside to sort through and potentially trade, I think what I enjoyed the most about this one was the stickers placed all around the inside of the can. When I pop the top on a geocache this big, I always feel like I'm opening the treasure chest in a video game. As opposed to the feeling that I get when I pop open the gizmo box and my brain immediately begins to smoke at the sight of all the contraptions in front of me. There is certainly plenty to do to keep yourself entertained as you're looking around the gizmo box, including taking one of these log rollers offered by the cache owner to help you roll your logs as you continue on your geocache journey down the road. Which is exactly what we did, continuing to follow Pacific Coast Highway with the mountain ranges bordering us on one side and the Pacific Ocean on the other. Once you have cleared Cambria on this drive, the people begin to dwindle as you make your way further along the coast, through San Simeon and up through Ragged Point. A significant portion of this drive will take you through Los Padres National Forest, which encompasses about 1.7 million acres of Central California's scenic coast and transverse ranges. This forest stretches on across nearly 220 miles from north to south and consists of two separate land divisions. The main division of the forest includes lands within San Luis Obispo, Santa Barbara, Ventura, and Kern counties. The northern division, which we are on our way to, is within Monterey County and northern San Luis Obispo County and includes the beautiful Big Sur coast and scenic interior areas. This is an immensely beautiful drive, made even more so by the setting sun in the Pacific Ocean. All along the way, as we continued to make our way up the coast, we stopped off at the many scenic view areas to appreciate the multitude of views offered to us. This was turning out to be a spectacular ending to a great day of geocaching, right until the moment we hit the road closed signs. Oh, well, now that's a game changer, isn't it? I guess we'll just enjoy this sunset while we think about our options. Well, darn, we almost had it. We are just 2 pages shy of finishing our day, and we were running right on time, right until the moment we hit those road closed signs just down the road from us now. It is not a short drive to get around to the pages that we need from here. If we cannot take the Pacific Highway, it means we need to turn around, drive like at least an hour backtrack, and then come around the other side of the mountains and come back down into the page on the highway from the other side. It looks like that's going to take us well into the night. All in all, it's been a great day geocaching along the coast using Pacific Coast Highway. Thank you guys for joining us. Like this video, subscribe to stay tuned for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.